So here we go, everybody. Welcome to game day, and I've arrived in Bristol as Town take on Bristol Rovers, 14th in League One. Bristol Rovers on Valentine's Eve. A little love heart for you all. I think that's a nice little love heart. Yeah, this is my first ever visit here, so I'm looking forward to having a little wander around the grounds, get hot chocolate, and wait for the team news to drop. So let's go. Okay then. I've got my hot chocolate and a bit of a wander, and guess who I bumped into? It's good old Wazza, my friend. We're here. Both our first little visit here, a little Valentine's date for me and you.
Spend it with your loved ones.
Yeah, my friend. KOI Army and all that.
Yeah.
Thoughts on, we'll get onto the team in a minute, but you've got a bit of a storytelling. It's not a poem, but it's just a story.
It's definitely not a poem, more of a tragedy.
Yeah.
But this is my first trip to Bristol Rovers, who once cost me £32,000 as the only team that didn't come in on a 12-fold accumulator. So 3 points would make me feel a whole lot better tonight.
Indeed.
So
they're called the Gas, aren't they? The Gas or the Pirates.
Gas heads, I've heard.
Gas heads.
For
yeah.
the fans, I've heard.
For the fans and all that. But team news has just dropped, my friends. Aluko starts, Ladapo starts, Danashian starts. Thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm always happy to see Ladapo start, and I think it's a better starter than he is a bench player. So hopefully he can come in. Christian Martin's just moved a goal behind me. So always happy to see Ladapo start, and we've been struggling to score sort of recently from open play, so maybe Ladapo can pick some holes and find that little bit of space to set someone away. Someone like Harness, for example, who's coming as well tonight. And I guess the only other one is Danashian's back in for Clark. Clark's still a young lad, you know. Yeah. I guess it's a fairly demanding schedule, isn't it, Saturday, Tuesday, so, you know, fair enough bringing Danashian in. He's a steady pair of hands, and he's needed a rest, so he could come back that same player that we saw at the start of the season with that real sort of good performances he had. So fingers crossed we'll get the win tonight, and let's bring on Bristol Rovers.
Let's bring it on, my friend. Let's see how they get on. I can't do the mic thing.
You can't do the mic. Do you want me to?
Ready?
Yeah.
Hey.
Nice.
Okay. Well, that was that on Valentine's night, a goalless draw against Bristol Rovers. I'm here with Alex, first of all. Thanks for joining me, my friend. That was that. Your thoughts on that one, my friend?
Yeah, I think we're all really gutted about that. There's a massive sense of disappointment around everybody coming away from the game there. There seems to be a team bereft of confidence, kind of bereft of creativity. Yeah. I don't like to slag off players and be too critical of them. We all love those players. I felt Humphreys was missing today. He was drifting out left. He looked lightweight. There was nothing happening in the middle, creativity-wise. We could have lost that game. We could have easily lost that game. But this is a pattern that's been emerging for a while. Teams have worked out how to play us. But to me, we just weren't working hard enough. We weren't working hard enough to create. It looked like a team bereft of ideas. Broadhead was outstanding when he came on. He really changed things, as did Clark. He was really good. Broadhead is a must start. Yeah. I thought Ladapo played really well. He was doing some good stuff. He was looking to create, but it was all so slow. Yeah. It was very slow. It was pedestrian, and the movement wasn't there. The options weren't there for the guy going forward with the ball. Look, at the end of the day, this is a run of form that's been going for months now. The top two has gone. Let's get over that. It's gone. But I am worried. I am worried about the top six. We're fourth now. Teams below with a game in hand. If they take them, we could be fifth, moving towards sixth. And that's what we're looking at now. McKenna's got a real challenge here, and it looks like a team bereft of confidence. And let's be real, top two is long gone, has been gone for a long while. We are not a top two side, and this was a really disappointing result. Unfortunately, there was a bit of afters with Morsey coming down at the end there. He had an exchange with some fans, and he seemed really angry at what they were saying. You know what? They've got a right to be a little bit disappointed. We're not going to worship them every time, especially when they're not playing well and they're not delivering. So it was a shame to see that interaction. Really disappointing. It's turning a little bit toxic, which is a shame, but we haven't been good enough for months. Top two has long gone, and now we really need to start picking up some points and winning some games. But that today was not good enough, and I don't care what anyone says, and it's gutting to watch. Really disappointing.
Tom, Alex.
Lots of love.
Okay, then I'm joined by Kieran, making his debut. Good to have you on the show, my friend, but a goalless draw here in Bristol. Your thoughts on that one?
What can I say? I mean, it's the most Ipswich 0-0 I could have possibly thought of. Once again, another game where we're on top from pretty much all of it. dominating, didn't take our chances. Early on, should have been 2-0 up after about 15-20 minutes, and then here we are, 0-0 at the end. So disappointing. Felt like we had a bit of a dip when we come out of the second half. They definitely came out better. We let their crowd get into it because it had been very quiet, from both ends, I will admit, for most of the game. And then as soon as they give them a chance, their crowd got into it, and then they got into it, and they started believing then that they could get something out of this game. And look, like, I think, to be honest, more likely to win it than we did at the end. But it's just, it is what it is.
I hate to say it, and it's a cliche, but I think we could have been there all evening and we wouldn't have scored, because that's just how I felt anyway. I was just getting frustrated. Ball's going in the box. This is probably the most frustrated I've been on game day for a while, because it wasn't great, was it?
No, and yeah, you're right. Probably we wouldn't have found that net if it was twice as wide and twice as high. To be honest, it's like, and it was good to see Clark and Broadhead. They came on, they made an impact. But again, both of them watching right in front of us. You say they ran themselves out of space, running towards the near post, no support. All of us, both of them, clear chances, but too tight an angle because they've no support, no one with them. Balls into the box were good, but no one on the end of them again. I did think it was a little bit embarrassing towards the end when Davis went off and we got corners and everyone's looking at each other. Who's taking this? That makes us look amateur a little bit, proper village, as I would say in cricket. But that was poor. But then the corners were all right. But again, no one on the end of it, just couldn't take the chances. Frustrating. And I feel for all the fans who are watching this who have travelled home and probably got home at 2:30, 3 in the morning, because being a Southwester, living in Cardiff, I've done this journey opposite many times, including after the Fleetwood game, where I got back to Cardiff at 3 in the morning. It's hard work. And it's hard work doing the journey after we win, let alone after games like this. So you've got my sympathy. But, it's just another frustrating draw. You looked at the run this week, which was today, It was today.
Winnable,
Rovers
must win.
Yeah, must. We said on the side of the pod, you need to must win. But today, it was Bristol Rovers, Forest Green, MK, Burton, Accrington Stanley.
15 points right there.
15 points. It should have been 15 points if we want to stay in the hunt for the top 2. But now we've got to look at the teams around us and say we've got to stay in the hunt for the top 6. I'm not saying we're going to drop away, no, but these teams around us are going to come into those playoffs with momentum, and if that's where we are at the moment, we're not going to have that kind of momentum unless we get on a run. This was the night, this was the game where you got on a run and you won 5 in a row potentially. So we're looking at it now. The next 4 games have got to be 12 points. 4 winnable games, 2 home, 2 away. Or was it 3? Or was it 3 home? So
doesn't matter now. We just got to win the games.
Yeah, 3 home, 1 away. That's got to be 12 points. But I've got to be honest, against the teams that we're going to be playing, those kinds of oppositions are the teams we don't break down, we don't score against at the moment. So it should be 4 wins. I can see 4 draws. I know it's frustrating, isn't it? Yeah. It's just not the position we thought we'd be in 3 or 4 months ago, is it?
No, definitely.
It's not good enough.
Up next, I'm joined by good old Jack and Wazza. Wazza's. Let's beat Jack first. Thoughts, my friend, on that one?
Slow, yeah, really slow, quite predictable, quite lethargic. It just seemed like we were never getting out of second gear. Just everything seemed to sort of stop-start. We weren't really very quick to the ball, weren't quick on the ball. Everything took too many touches. I thought maybe in the first half he might have got them in at half-time and told them to sharpen up. And then when we brought on Broadhead, it did sharpen up a little bit, but yeah, I mean, it's just a really poor performance. Top 2's gone, obviously. Gone. We're not going to be putting together a run of 10, 11, 12 straight wins that we're going to need when we can only win 4 matches in 15. I think partly the rotation's to blame. We keep rotating. There's no consistency in the team selection. And it's not me saying that McKenna's this, that and the other. It's just, I think now we need to sort of maybe have a consistent sort of 10, 11 that you would.
Are we too? No, we're fine. Sorry, Jack. Sorry.
I think we need now a consistent sort of at least 7, 8, 9 players to say right, they're going to start. You can't be chip changing the defence and chip changing the 3, 4 in attack and expect any consistent results.
Okay. Wazza, you've had time to sort of breathe.
Yeah.
Thoughts on that one, my friend?
The light has gone out at the memorial, and the light has gone out on my hope for this football team. Not quite that bad, but
top 2's gone for you as well.
Top 2 gone. The trainers over the horizon. At this rate, we're going to be 6th.
You know what?
Barnsley have got games in hand on us if they win them all, which I think they will.
Play them still.
I think they will. They'll be ahead of us. Bolton are a freight train. Derby, yes, they lost at Wickham the other day. I don't know what their result was tonight. Better than us.
1-1. But still, yeah, carry on.
There are 3 players, I think, that come out of this game with any credit. Nathan Broadhead, as Jack said.
Yep.
Thought Clark was all right when he came on. And I don't think you can put any blame at the feet of young Cameron Humphreys, because he's 18-year-old that's been thrust into a team that's underperforming, but it's a team that's out of ideas, devoid of any creativity, and it looks devoid of any confidence. And that's now starting to translate to the fans.
Yeah.
There was some boos at the end, despite Bristol's incredibly loud PA system. I've heard there was I didn't see it personally, but I've heard there was some beef with Mr. Morsey.
There was.
We've seen it at Cambridge. On Saturday, I commended the heart of this team to come back from 2-0 against the league leaders and eventual champions of this division. Tonight there was no heart, no desire. I don't think. They've got to start playing like they care. I think Jack's absolutely spot on. I think we need consistency now in the team selection. I think that's the only way we're going to see anything in the playoffs now. And we have got to now just become
A winning machine?
A winning machine, and accept the fact that that's where we're going to be, because that's kind of all we've got. 4 wins in 15 now.
Too many draws.
Too many draws.
12th draw this season.
Too many draws. And I believe the second game where we haven't scored a goal.
Yeah.
And I think we've just been figured out. We need to change something. We need to get the team playing a bit more consistently, as Jack said. And I don't know, they need to give us now a reason to believe. The fans have been fantastic all season. I travelled 6,500 miles supporting Town in 2022. They need to give me a reason to believe in them, because it hurts. It's a 416-mile round trip for us tonight. I'm going to be back at 2 in the morning, and I've been let down. And I need my football team to show me the same love that I show them.
Have you got work? Have you got work?
Oh, work tomorrow?
Yeah. It's great stuff, isn't it? 9 a.m. sharp. It's what we do.
This team needs to show us something now, because the fans are going, they're wobbling. Stuart Watson talks about the psychological wounds that have opened in ITFC fans, and they are gushing.
Yeah.
The wounds. They're not just little cuts, they're deep-seated, deep-rooted, and this team needs to give us something. We'll be there every game. Hopefully they will be too, because they ain't showed up properly for the last couple of weeks.
15 big games now.
That's all it is.
There we go.
Got to go for it.
Cheers, boys. Coming next, I'm joined by our resident Southwest, Steve Mellon, my friend. Short journey for you today. I think you're just around the corner, so nice little walk for you. Thoughts on that goalless draw?
Yeah, echo what other people have said. We looked devoid of confidence and ideas. I think you could name a handful of players who came out of that with credit. I thought Broadhead tried to make something happen when he came on. Ladapo played well. I don't agree with the stick Morsey's getting. I think there's a lot on his shoulders. He's expected to be the captain, a sort of midfield general, and create. You look, he gets the ball from the defence, and it's like, okay, what are you going to do? And everyone makes runs ahead of him, and that's a lot on his shoulders. But yeah, that was poor. I mean, you're playing a team that is on a bad run.
Very bad run. Yeah.
We looked good for about 5 minutes at the start. And then it just faded, and teams know to mark Burns out of the game.
Did he play tonight, did he?
He was
That's
there.
a bit harsh from Burns, really, but yeah.
Yeah, he was there. He was there. So some of our talisman from earlier in the season, Marcus Harness, we know he's probably a streaky player, and he's on a poor streak at the moment. So we need to accept it what it is. The top two's gone. Not mathematically, but how can you see us matching the consistency of the other teams? So we've got 15 games left, and we're in a fight for top 6. And obviously, as we know from being Town fans, the higher you finish in the top 6, the more favourable the playoffs are. So you can't just slope into 6, because then you end up playing away in the second leg to a decent team. Pretty horrible atmosphere in the away end tonight. It's a difficult one, isn't it? People pay their money. People I've got a cab ride home. Some of those people won't get home till early hours of the morning. But I don't agree with giving the players abuse at the final whistle. I mean, what signal does that send? How does it help? I don't get it. But safe travels to everyone, because it's a long old trip.
Here's my friend. Thanks for joining me.
No worries.
Okay, the final man that is joining me tonight is good old James. He's been holding the camera all night long. Thanks for doing that, my friend. Now your time to share your thoughts on that one. Thoughts? Take it.
Well, it was disappointing, wasn't it?
It was.
This team are underperforming.
Yep.
they've not just underperformed tonight. It's been a failure to see off teams for the last few months. Too many draws, as we've heard already tonight on game day. Too many times where we've let points slip, and it's got to the point where complete apathy is coming away from that away end. It was devoid of atmosphere because there was nothing on the pitch to give us any atmosphere. It was a real struggle just because we can't get any motivation because we don't feel like we're going to go ahead and score. It's too much passing. It's not too much passing. It's just a lot of possession play with not a lot of end product. Yeah, a lot of backwards play, a lot of sideways play, a lot of let's retain the ball and create something, but nothing ever gets created. Yeah. These players are well paid, well remunerated for the work they do in League One. We've recruited well. We've recruited a lot. Yeah, there's been a lot of money spent on this team. This team flies places, maybe not everywhere, but it probably has some of the best facilities in League One. That wasn't the case probably when we came down to League One. We were probably maybe top half, but maybe even top 6 of the resources. But now, I think with the money that's been pumped in, we're probably the most expensive team in League One. Yeah. We're not seeing a team that's blowing away League One on that pitch. No. Not by any stretch of the imagination. There's not many teams apart from maybe bottom of the league that you think we could pump 3 or 4-0. It's really not good enough, and it's far below the expectations that have been set at this club, and it's very disappointing. We look bereft of ideas. It's a real struggle right now to get any enthusiasm or motivation. This team will not finish in the top 6. If we play like that for the rest of the season, we will not finish in the top 6. There are too many teams above us that will play better than that to deserve a place in the top 6. It doesn't matter. This was a nailed-on top 2 team in August and September, but literally since since November, we have looked mid-table at best. It's been a real struggle watching this team. Every time we're looking so good in possession, but literally cannot create a chance to score a goal. It is so disappointing on my football club, and we're yet again throwing another good start of the season. We're throwing it away. Yeah. Now, I don't know where that blame lies. There's probably a multitude. It can't be analysed in a post-match. No. But
it's the team.
The team is letting us down right now. Yeah. Those players need to step up very quickly, because otherwise, this season is gone again.
League One.
Yeah, it's sad to say it, but that team does not look like it's going to get out of League One, and it doesn't deserve to get out of League One. So, we've got to be clinical. We've got to create chances. We've got to try. We've got to make opportunities. We can't do exactly the same thing all the time because teams have just worked us out, and it's so painful to watch. So Ipswich Town, we need to do better. We've had a brilliant start to the season, but you can't just assume you're going to come to Bristol Rovers and roll a team over. It's not going to happen. They know how to play us now. We've got to do better.
I don't know what I had to do during that interview there. I was like, what do I do with my hands? But James, that was fantastic, and thanks everyone who's joined me on game day today. A lot of honest opinions, frustrated voices, of course. But James, thanks for joining me. Thanks everyone for watching game day once again, and see you on Saturday. Forest Green.
Come on, you Blues.
Yeah.